Welcome to Lesson 4 in Unit 17, Streamside Survival. In this lesson, students will work to answer the question, how does what an animal sees and how it appears to others help it survive? In this lesson, students figure out that animals can see objects when light reflects off of them and enters their eyes. They learn that animals perceive the world differently. They figure out that animals have observable features that help them survive. Students make connections to the storyline by adding to their model of a wetland animal to include how it uses its sense of sight and observable features it uses to survive. There are several opportunities for ELA cross-curricular connections throughout the lesson. You can look for specific standard connections in the Unit 17 Teacher Guide. This lesson will take approximately 4 to 5 days to complete. To begin the Engage portion, you'll ask students what they have learned so far about how animals use their structures to survive. You'll then show students how different animals see the world by accessing 2 different resources. You'll ask students what they observed about how animals view the world and how eyesight helps them survive. You'll then revisit the driving question board to add any new questions and highlight others connected to the learning goals of this lesson by calling attention to questions about how and what animals see and how this might help animals survive. For the Explore portion, you'll tell students that they are going to figure out why some animals see things differently by looking at a red tomato from the MySci kit. They will do the Path of Light model activity. Be sure to see the teacher tutorial showing the setup and procedure instructions for the activity. Students will use the Path of Light student journal page to follow through the investigation. For the Explain portion, you'll bring the class together and lead a discussion about students' observations from the investigation. You'll use the provided questions to guide your discussion around the question, how does what an animal sees and how it appears to others help it survive? The goal of this class discussion is to analyze observations and identify that to see objects light shines onto them and is reflected into the eye. You'll use this discussion to create the Lesson 4 summary chart. By the end of the discussion, students should understand that animals use their sense of sight to observe the world and other animals in particular ways. The appearance of wetland animals can help it get food, find a mate, or avoid a predator. During the discussion, you can post and discuss the Reflect vocabulary card. You'll then have students read Animal Vision and continue the summary chart discussion. For the Elaborate portion, you'll provide students time to research their animal's eyesight and ways their animal's appearance helps them survive. You'll direct students back to their Animal Adaptation student journal page and have them add new details. You'll use the new evidence observed from the activities to add to the Gotta Have It checklist for the animal models. You can also have students use the peer feedback table tent cards to provide feedback to each other on their models. After students have added to their models, you'll allow them to share their drawings and complete the summary chart discussion. For the Evaluate portion, you'll read, What do you do with a tail like this? Be sure to use the Read Aloud guide to see if students can use evidence and reasoning to explain how the animals use different structures to survive. You'll then have students complete the Animal Argument Quick Check student journal page. To support student sense-making across the unit, you'll orient them back to the driving question board. Ask students, did we answer any of the questions on our driving question board? If there are questions that have been answered, you can remove them from the driving question board and place them on the summary charts. You can also use this as an opportunity to answer the section driving question, how do animals survive in a wetland habitat? You'll then have students complete the Section 1 summative assessment. By the end of this lesson, students will have developed a model to describe how animals use their eyes to see objects, and made observations to determine how animals use their sense of sight to help them survive and find mates. In Lesson 5, students will investigate how plants are able to survive where they live. For more information about this unit, visit myscipartners.com.